Iva, I know, one of the big things that is downtown. Things have changed downtown. You got some new stuff going on. Libraries, one. Give me the update on the library. What happened this year and where we're going?
Well, the library is under construction, and folks that are in this area
On the square,
and they're they've got basically the inside of the old fire department completely gutted, and it looks like some walls are starting to go up in there. The front of the old fire department now has been completely removed, the sidewalk, and they're starting to work on that. So that will start to come together in the spring, and so we're hopeful that that'll be open in the fall, and that along with the new museum that will be going in the old dime store, that we're doing work on the inside now, so you can't really see anything, but in January we plan to get that fully started with as far as renovations and getting it ready. That involves a lot of
what
work.
those things mean for downtown when they're done?
Well, the new library definitely is just going to be, it's going to be a nice new library for folks who enjoy books, and then of course the technology component of the library as well. Folks who need to use a computer, somebody who works from home that just wants to get out of their home and go and work in the library. But in terms of what it's going to look like downtown, it's going to be a nice modernization of Front Street. It's going to look nice. It's going to be a beautiful building, and in a bigger space. It brings more workers downtown as well, and hopefully that will bring the new library will bring more folks into downtown. We're hoping that the new library will ignite some interest in the old Mexican restaurant there. That would be to the left, and we're hoping that somebody will take some interest and do something in that building, a restaurant, to lease that space. The new museum obviously will be a nice facelift to that building, which is one of our oldest buildings in town. It's a beautiful building. It's a good location there, and it will house Iva's history and some of the work that's going to be taking place there. Of course, we've already put a new roof on it, but it upgrades to electrical, a new heat and air system, new windows, new awning, a paint job on the outside, new floors. It's going to be a nice renovation to that building. It'll take several months to complete that. So it's a possibility that we could have the museum open by the end of the year, along with the new library. We'll just have to see how things go as we get through the year.
You mentioned you got a new gym?
That's right. So in April, actually it was in February of 2024, we opened the new gym just right across from the bank. It's been going great. It's a good. That was sort of a transition from the antique body shop. The antique body shop was in the building that the new library is going in. So in moving them, we opened up a gym that's available to the community, and it's going great. A lot of new members. A lot of members have joined the gym throughout the year, and hopefully that'll continue throughout 2025.
That was something a lot of people have been asking for.
Yeah, over the years we've had a lot of interest in the gym, and a lot of people who didn't really meet the age qualifications for the antique body shop wanted a fitness facility to go to, and so that has filled a need in town, and folks enjoy going. So we're proud of it.
And during the past year, you had a number of new housing starts in Iva?
We had, I think, about 10 new houses over the last year, and look for that in 2025 as well. We're not in a housing boom like some towns are, but for our infrastructure and for what we can handle, it's going great. We have a lot of interest in this area, and I think over the next couple of years we'll see several new houses in the area, not only in the city limits, but just all around. A lot of people are taking advantage, or a lot of people are looking at this area because there's still a lot of available land. And when they buy land down here, it's not an acre, it's several acres. And that's hard to come by in the county now. So this part of the county still has a lot of beautiful acreage, especially around the lakes. And when people buy around the lake, it obviously benefits the town as well too. It helps us with our commercial economy here. Speaking of that, I know the Jacksonville property has been something of a lot of interest to folks over the years, and we're hopeful to make some nice announcements at the beginning of the year We're seeing how things develop there. I'm sure we'll have our fireworks there in July, so I don't see anything happening between now and then. But just to get things ready in terms of having the location secured by developers to do something good for the town, I think we'll be able to hopefully announce something first part of the year if everything goes through.
That's pretty important because that's been sitting there a long time.
It has, and but it takes a long time for the things to work out that developers want to work out. The traffic count on 81, is the town growing, is the logistics good for whatever the possible development may be. Infrastructure, all these kind of things have to fall into place and they have to work out. And so it takes a long time. Market studies take forever. And then the environmentals, all that just takes a very, very long time to complete. And it looks like it's just sitting there, but there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to try to make something happen. And then you have the owners you have to work out, the sell with. And so, it takes a long time, but if everything works out well, hopefully in 2025, we can at least make some announcements as to what the plans are for that property.
You think people are going to be happy when they hear the potential announcements?
I think they'll be very happy, yeah. But, again, there's no contracts or anything like that. So nothing has been, the mayor and council have worked very hard to try to get something that would work there and work with the right folks to make things work. And we still haven't, we're just at the very beginning in terms of trying to secure something there. There is a market study going on now, and we still have to do a lot of work with the county, the state. We have a lot of other folks that are going to be involved in this deal. So we have a lot of work to still do, but it is ongoing, and hopefully we'll be able to announce something pretty soon on that. I know it's been a long time, but like I said, it takes a while.
You mentioned events. You had a pretty full slate of events this year.
We did.
In good attendance.
Mm-hmm. Everything went well up until the very end. We ended our event season with a very rainy, cold Christmas parade, but yeah, throughout the year we've had good weather, we've had good attendance, and people enjoy events. In 2025, we'll do the same thing we did this year. We'll have our spring festival in May, car show, and then our summer nights will kick off in May, which is just really around the corner. You blink your eye, it's that time already. And then, of course, the fall will bring our fall events. And hopefully we'll have good weather. And as people are moving into this area, hopefully we'll have more participation.
I was going to say, it's a casual observation, but it seemed to me like some of the events, particularly like Halloween, were bigger crowds than I've ever seen down here.
Yeah, people really enjoy the fall events, I think, more than the spring events. We've always had a hard time getting our spring festival and some of the things we did in the spring off the ground. The fall events are just signature events that people enjoy and they plan on throughout the year. And we hope we can do that with the spring events this year as well. Like I said, people just enjoy being outside. People enjoy the community. People enjoy the festivities and those kind of things. So, I hope we can maybe even add one or two more things this year than we have been doing. But again, all these things are outside events, so it depends on how the weather works out for us.
And you have a nice just square in downtown area. And once you get the library and the dime store in, it'll be even you have even more for people to do, right?
It will, but as far as a small town, we've never really had to worry about parking. But now we're going to have to look at if you're in downtown on a Thursday or Friday night, there's very limited parking with the restaurants being open, and we're glad. We're that's very good for us. But with the new library and with the museum, and if we can get a lease deal on that old Mexican restaurant, we'll have to look at, what can we do in terms of adding a few more parking spaces here and there. But yeah, I think downtown is still beautiful. Now, we'll have to do some cleanup after Christmas. We have our lights still up right now. So once we get all those down, we'll do a nice cleanup in the parking lot and start preparing for our spring.
How much did Hurricane Helene affect you guys here?
Well, in terms of how it affected Iva compared to other parts of the county and of course the state and the region, I don't know that we were hit as rough as some places, but we had several trees down. There probably isn't a road in town that didn't have a tree down somewhere, whether it was over the road or somebody's yard. And so cleanup efforts are still going. We've got a crew here now that's still picking up trees. As far as property damage, there were several houses that had some very significant damage and then some minor damages. In terms of the town itself, we had a few areas where city properties or infrastructure was damaged, but not severely. So I think we were fortunate in terms of now the power was off here for half the town, and half the town had power. And I know there were some towns that 90% of their residents were without power for weeks. So we were fortunate there. And I would just say, big thank you to Mr. Hawkins with the county, with their emergency preparedness department there. They were excellent to work with. I mean, I know he had several things going on, but when you would call, it would be like, you're the most important thing for us to deal with right now. And so they did so well in supplying us with water, with ice when we were able to get an ice machine down here, and just so many other things they were able to work with us on. And so I just want to give a big thank you to the county and to Josh Hawkins specifically and his department, because they were well prepared and very professional.
One of the things we've talked about in past years is the recreation program seems to continue to grow. Is it still growing with like kids' recreation programs?
I think so. We've talked about this before. The Iva Recreation Association does an excellent job with the recreation programs, and a lot of their games are at the Parque Bowie complex, just a couple miles outside of town. And it looks like there is more participation year over year. Right now they're in basketball, the winter sports, and kids really enjoy being a part of the recreation program. They enjoy the sports, and this whole area, it's always been a big deal for recreation. And as a kid, I can remember the ball fields just being full of different things going on, and that is still happening. We just don't see it as much in the town because it happens at the Park and Bowie complex. But there still are kids here, and there's so many opportunities for them to be involved. Great coaches. Right now, they use the Civic Center for their basketball programs, and you couldn't ask for a better group of individuals that maintain and run that program. So we're just very proud of them, and we want to support them any way we can, especially the kids in the community, because these are future athletes in the school.
What is council and the mayor and you kind of determined are some priorities for the first 3 months of 2025?
Well, one thing that we had been planning to do for quite a while now, it just hasn't worked out, and but it will happen this spring, is we're going to update the playground at the L.C. Evans Memorial Park with new equipment, repairing the existing equipment, and just making a nicer overall area out there for kids. So that is something that we plan to have complete by spring. That's about a year behind schedule, and we wanted to have it done earlier. But we have another park at the where the water tower is, and so while we're working on the L.C. Evans part, we'll have that one open. It's open now, but we'll encourage folks to go over there and use that one while we're working on the other one. So that's something that we want to have done early in the year. And then just keeping the town clean and working with developers and real estate agents and anybody that can help us. The thing about the Jacksonville property is we have to make sure that there's a population that can sustain whatever the development is. So while we're not like Pendleton or other parts of the county where you've just got houses going everywhere, we still have to have steady growth in order to make sure that we can sustain whatever goes there. So we still want to continue to try to recruit folks to build houses here, or at least move in the area. That's going to be very, very important. So we'll be doing that throughout 2025, and just making sure that our events run nice. I think the mayor and council are excited about the potential of what Iva is going to be like in the next several years, and just planning for that, just making sure we have everything in place for the town to grow and grow good, and to keep our residents as happy as possible.